Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. We're here live 1 week out, is it? No, 1 week out tomorrow will be the start of the season. So we thought basically we just go through where we're at with our most recent drafts, talk about the players we like, talk about the players we don't like, of course discuss what's been happening so far in pre-season, the players that are doing well, the players that aren't doing too well or maybe injured as well, and basically just answer your guys' questions as well. Jake, my man, how are you finding pre-season? You enjoying it?
I am, yeah. It's nice that there's any kind of football. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realise just how much I missed it until I started watching every single game. Liverpool had two games back to back the other
Wow.
day, and you best believe I watched every minute of it.
Okay.
But
You
yeah,
are.
it's go on.
I was going to say you have got quite a few Liverpool players in your draft. Is that inspired by the friendlies you've been watching?
Yeah, and I saw someone posting a draft with the three that are in my draft, and it did make me think. You know what? Maybe I should go for that. With the Isak news still all up in the air, everyone's like desperately trying to convince us that he's signing still. But then there are other rumours coming out of other players. I mean, um, I feel like it could drastically change once more if we do get that deal over the line. However, I think having triple Liverpool is, well, it's certainly not a bad thing.
Hmm.
And I think it's one of the few teams where you can bank on three starters that should get some decent attacking returns at the start of the season. And it's a team, of course, that you would expect to be up there. We can't go hiding behind this underdog um, underdog banner anymore. I feel like we have to be favourites for every single game we play this season with the moves we've made.
Yeah, agreed. I think you're going to go in as title favourites this year, and
Mm.
probably there's going to be that expectation for you to win. Whereas I feel for probably the first half of last season, it was kind of just like let's just see where this goes,
Yeah,
kind of vibe.
definitely.
So a lot more pressure on you, but there's some very good assets as always, and like you said, that Isak move just rumbling along a little bit. Looks like Visser is going to be heading to Newcastle. That's been confirmed by a reputable Newcastle journalist today. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so maybe that Isak move's going to start to gain a little bit more traction before the deadline, especially if they get that striker move. I know obviously they've been looking at Sesko, they've been looking at Jackson, but it looks like those other two moves have been sewn up now. Have you seen the Jackson one?
No, well, I mean, I've heard that he's a rumor. I heard that it would also sum up Newcastle's window because he'd missed the first game of the season due to a red card against Newcastle last season.
Well, even better news. Apparently, he's going to Bayern.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how he's wingled that one out, but yeah, he's apparently going to
He's,
Bayern.
you know what? You know what? He's. I would. I would say he's got more potential in him than Choupo-Moting did as a second choice to at that point Lewandowski. In this time it would be for Harry Kane. So I think that's a sensible signing for Bayern Munich. I can't imagine Jackson will be the first team starter, but he's yeah he still has plenty of room to actually hit the ground where he's expected to.
Yeah, yeah. I think, like you said, over this next week, I think things are going to start to get very, very interesting in the transfer market. I think a lot more moves and probably a lot of drafts are going to shift around as well over the next few days as well. So keep your eyes peeled, of course, on probably like Fabrizio, Ornstein's Twitter because it's all going to change. Uh,
Indicala.
yeah, all the reputable ones, but don't go for them for Porto information because they got absolutely diddled this week. Did you see that story?
No, I didn't.
So Porto announced, I think it was De Jong from PSV as their like new striker, and basically nobody knew that he was signing. They did like a player announcement at the stadium, and then just De Jong walked out.
That's fair play, Porto.
Apparently they'd been like hiding him in like secret hotel rooms and stuff, and like giving him like blacked out taxis, just so like no journalist or anyone would find out about it.
Fair enough. There is that argument that in this day and age of football, with it being such a social media based thing now, it does kind of ruin that surprise because
Yeah,
when
yeah.
when you have that surprise big money signing, it does thrill you a bit. But you know what? I don't think it's there's still enjoyment to be found from these journalists. Just unfortunately, sometimes it can be a bit of disappointment in the end.
Yeah, I've always said for a while that I'm not a big fan of Fabrizio Romano anymore. I just think it has kind of killed a little bit of the excitement of football. Like, imagine that he didn't exist, and then all of a sudden you just like found out you were signing Isak,
Yeah.
or like it's just announced that you've got Alexander Isak. You'd be absolutely buzzing. You'd be like, I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. Anyway, that is enough waffle from the pair of us, really. Looking in the chat, we've got Abby Johnson, Andy Burton, Zen's in the chat as well. Some absolute legends. This isn't going to be a team draft rating stream. This is just going to be me and Jake talking through our drafts, where we're at, which players we like, which players we don't like, and stuff like that, and answering questions. We'll probably do another draft review before the start of the season. But if you want to get your team rated for free by Fantasy Football Hub's AI tool, there is a link in the description to go and get that done. That is what we've done with both mine and Jake's teams as well today. So we do have an AI rating score as well to go alongside kind of our own opinions of our teams as well, just to balance it out a little bit as well. So do keep the questions coming in. We will sort them out. Yeah, the sound is kind of being a bit of a dick today. So if it does go a little bit low, let me know in the chat. It keeps dropping in the computer.
Whoa!
Not yours. Not yours. Yours is fine. It's mine.
Yours just turned up massively on my computer then.
Mine is... Literally, it just slings it back down to like 75. Look, it's always constantly slinging it. I need to have a look. Anyway, right. Stick with me. Bear with me. If the sound goes low, let me know. And we'll obviously sort it out and stuff. Someone says, do you have Twitter, Jake? Do you have Twitter?
I do. I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, get it in the chat. If people want to go and follow Jake, I reckon you post your team this year. Get yourself some followers in the door.
All right, sound. All right. Awesome abuse.
Awesome abuse, mate. Either one. But when you're like number one,
don't check my saved tweets.
Yeah. It's just,
or my liked tweets.
Just all porn. It's just all porn.
Twitter's the only way to get access to it now without having to send your date of birth and your driving license and birth certificate.
Exactly, lad. Like, you know what I mean? I had to put like my MOT certificate up the other week just to look at some boobs. So not ideal, really, is it? Right. That's enough waffle about boobs and MOT certificates. Let's head into your draft then, Jake, starting off first. Talk me through it. Talk me through the players you like. Obviously, triple Liverpool in there. A lot of people in the chat have been asking about Gakpo. I feel like you're the perfect man to ask about this one. So, yeah, fire away, mate. Talk us through it.
All right, Sam. Well, with no further ado with Liverpool, we might as well dwell on that because that is the big switch up that I've had over the past week is... watching them play, I do feel like Liverpool start the season the way that they started their second game against Athletic Bilbao. And I think with it being only a week away, regardless of whether we sign Isak or not, I don't think he starts the season. Whether he plays game week 2 remains to be seen, but that's all if buts and maybes. There's plenty still to go on in the transfer market before I worry about that. Yeah, the way that Liverpool set out, I think Gakpo is pretty much a certainty on the left-hand side, almost as much as Salah's a certainty on the right. And you can't spend 115, 16 million pounds on a player to bench him. I think with how much he's played in pre-season, I think Wirtz will start the season as well. From the looks of things, I think the back four is probably where it's the most questionable. Whether Frimpong and Bradley will start, whether Kirkes and Robertson will start. Of course, further down the line, you'd imagine the latter, the two new signings, will be the formidable wing-back partnership, if you can have a partnership at wing-back. The centre-halves speak for themselves, and then I think it is working from the back. You will have Ekitike up front, of course, regardless of what happens in the future. That may change. But I think behind that, you've got Salah, Wirtz and Gakpo. I think the start of the season's really solid for Liverpool. Granted, there's that game against Arsenal, and if I am to delve into the Arsenal players, which I saw you tweeted about potentially, so I won't dwell on Arsenal too much. But if I am going to, then that game week 3, I believe it is, I will be very tempted to do a free hit. Then other moves I've made, I've actually changed my goalkeepers to 2 Brentford players, inspired by yours, your team last week, I must say, Tom, I think Brentford players are players that I can probably see myself not requiring, as opposed to Villa players. Villa are more likely to have games where you'd want more than one player. And I had already triple Villa'd up with Rodgers on my bench. So depending on where Watkins goes and how the season starts for other players, maybe the likes of Marlon or even another fullback, I'd like to have that flexibility with Villa because you'd imagine they'll be up there or thereabouts in European fighting. Brentford remains to be seen. They could struggle, especially if Vissa goes. But Kelleher is a solid choice keeper. I don't know if Vladimirsen's going to be their second choice, so that is something I need to look at because I think there are 4 goalkeepers in that team on fantasy. So I'm trying to solidify my goalkeepers on a team where they are just going to play the whole season, and I'm not going to not going to require more than one player outfield. So I think Brentford's a decent shout for that. And then finally the only real changes I've juggled around with are up top with Joel Piero. I'm still not convinced on my third striker. I like Mayenda because of Sunderland's start to the season. I think they really need to hit the ground running. João Pedro, good player to have, and I think he's very popular, especially for the fixtures that Chelsea have. I am still up in the air as to who my third striker is, and that could result to me going for maybe a cheaper option than Joel Piero. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums up my team. I think one thing I'm very well aware of when I sent you my team today is that I think I am potentially a little bit heavy. I've gone a bit heavy-handed on game week 1 rather than looking ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Because arguably with the team that I've got there, you'd want to start Mayenda and Rodgers as well, especially with Newcastle's summer and the fact that, like I say, if you're going to have a Sunderland asset, you probably would want them for the first few game weeks.
Yeah. Interestingly, on your 4 million goalkeeper, we have one now to pick that will play games.
Who's that?
Dubravka has gone to Burnley.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, there's your 4 million goalkeeper sorted.
Get him in, to be fair, because Burnley were defensive connoisseurs last season.
They were indeed, and we watched some of their football, and it was pretty dreadful. Overall, I think the defence is pretty much spot on. I think I've seen every player in there that you have within that defence in at least probably a lot of top content creators' drafts. Ped, Porro, Milenkovic, Tarkowski, Wan-Bissaka, Esteve have all been in there as well. So yeah, I think the defence is probably fine, mate, to be honest. I think that's a pretty good defence. Obviously, upgrade your goalkeeper to Dubravka, then you've got 2 playing goalkeepers. Rodgers picked up a little bit of a knock last night. I believe it's not serious, but maybe one to monitor over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
I just worry with this team is there may be one too many picks that are a little bit unknown.
Right, okay.
So I think Wirtz starts the season. I do genuinely think he starts the season, but it's a question of does he hit the ground running? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get that.
He's an unknown quantity to the Premier League. Gakpo as well, I think minutes-wise could be a risk. I think he'll start the season, but how long does he stay within that side? Again, a little bit of a doubt. Same probably goes with Brennan Johnson as well. Like, I know Spurs have got quite a few injuries at the moment, so probably is going to play. But again, doubts. Joel Perreault, I know Leeds are in the market for another striker. There's been rumours of like Mitrovic, obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So is Perreault going to still be first choice? Again, doubts around that one.
Yeah, I agree with the Perreault one. Like I say, that was up in the air on that. But there's an easy remedy to what you say, and that would be probably to get rid of Johnson and bring in Solanke. And then maybe downgrade Gakpo so that I've got a bit of money between Johnson and Gakpo for 2 reasonable midfielders.
Well, you say all that, but Spurs have just played another pre-season game today, and Solanke didn't feature.
No, have you heard anything injury-wise, or is that just because Maddison just crocked himself?
No, he's not played a single minute of pre-season yet, Dominic Solanke.
Well, it might be time for the pigeon dance then.
Richarlison in. But yeah, I don't mind it. I think the Liverpool triple up could be good, and it could be one of those things that definitely works. But I think I would probably maybe only go for Gakpo if the rest of the team was like really like I could bank on them playing like 90 minutes every week. Whereas I think there's maybe one or two that you just can't. So I think maybe having a few of them, like you could get to maybe game week 3 and be like, shit, my end has been like upended by Gui who's joined, Perot's not got first choice, Johnson's maybe on the bench, Wirtz hasn't started how I've liked, obviously Gakpo's not playing, and then you're left in a position where you're like, right, I need to make 4 or 5 transfers just to fix it. So that would be my only worry on that one.
The beauty, though, of the chips, though, means that if push comes to shove, I can just wildcard, can't I?
You can wildcard. You can wildcard. That is definitely in the locker.
And I think that does just open up the door to being a little bit more playful with your team. And I don't think I'm being stupid, and I mean, there's definitely still room to improve. But I don't think that triple Liverpool is necessarily a bad thing to start the season, especially with Bournemouth, and especially with just how good attacking wise they should be. And they have looked good. Gakpo has had a good pre-season, scored a hat-trick against Bilbao, if you count an own goal as one of your 3 goals.
Oh, that's it then.
Yeah. But no, I get the Johnson news. I just feel like with Son leaving and with how good Johnson was, or how formidable he seemed to be towards the end of the season, I think he starts the season unless he's injured. And especially if Solanke is a doubt, then you'd imagine Johnson's going to have to feature. Rodgers is definitely someone to keep an eye on. If he's going to be a doubt for the start of the season, then I will make that change there. And then, yeah, like I say, with Sunderland, I guess, yeah, you've got to wait and see whether the likes of Gay will infiltrate himself into the team ahead of the likes of Mayenda. But I feel like there's still risks that aren't going to cost me too much. And like I say, with a wild card, it does kind of save your ass. I'd like to not have to do it within the first 5 weeks of the game, but I think the one thing I am pretty convinced on is starting those 3 Liverpool assets for Bournemouth, because should Gakpo start to see reduced minutes, especially with Champions League in September, then I should have acquired a decent, like a couple of transfers available by then. But we shall see. I think it all blows out the window if Isak joins.
Yeah, I think like you said, it completely changes over the next week, obviously, dependent on that move there. But Bournemouth, like, you really could be onto something here, because Bournemouth have just lost that whole defence. Sabani has gone, Huijsen's gone.
Has he gone?
Yeah, pretty much, like Fab Romano.
Where's he going? Spurs or PSG?
PSG.
Is he?
Yeah, so
hard choice, really.
Yeah. But this is what I mean. Like, that whole back line is crocked, really. So, yeah. It's one of those. If you had to pick, though, right now, Wirtz or Gakpo, who would you go for? Because that was one of the questions we had in the chat.
I'd go for... Oh, fuck. See, I nearly stubbornly said Wirtz, to be fair. But you know what? I think Gakpo is actually a better shout to start the season with, personally.
At least he's like familiar with the Premier League, isn't he?
Yeah, and he is just a goal scorer.
Yeah,
he is a goal scorer. But I have liked what Wirtz has done so far. I think he's definitely someone that is going to light up the league. But we shall see. But yeah, I'm confident. I'm not going to get rid of Wirtz. I think if we sign Isak, I think I still will keep Salah and Wirtz. Gakpo, I would like to think I'd keep, because I think he'll start the season well against Bournemouth. But yeah, well, who knows? But if I had to put my money on it, I'd keep those 3 for the start of the season.
Okay, very, very nice. Let's answer some questions in the chat. Actually, before we do that, this team was, of course, rated by Fantasy Football Hub's AI tool. What do you think it got out of 100?
78.
Oh, that's modest of you, mate. That's very modest of you. It scored.
I don't know how the judgment works, to be honest.
Well, like, I think to get 78, you'd have to put like Matt Target and like duds in there.
Oh, so they're quite lenient with the score, are they?
Yeah, fairly lenient.
All right, well then, 90.
He got 87.
Right, okay.
You got 87. So the big players it did like were obviously Ped Porro, it's a big fan of. Milenkovic, it's also a very, very big fan of. Obviously Salah, João Pedro, it likes as well. And Gakpo and Wirtz, it likes all of those ones as well.
Sound. What does it think of the goalkeeper?
It doesn't mind Kelleher. It doesn't mind him, but yeah, I think goalkeepers really. We've spoke about it before on the channel. We're not big fans, are we? To be honest, people are saying probably the lack of Palmer is the reason that it's dropped down a little bit. That makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you want to get your team rated for free, there is a link in the description. And if you want to put it in the chat as well, it would be great to see what people are scoring as well in comparison. So yeah, make sure you're going over to Fantasy Football Hub, link in the description, and getting your team done for free. All you've got to do, upload a screenshot, and there it is. It will give you a score. So 87 for Jake. Not too bad, mate. Right, let's answer some of your guys' questions. Thank you for joining the stream, Offcore. Appreciate you, man. People are asking, would Brennan Johnson be on penalties if Solanke misses the start of the season? Probably would go to Richarlison if he starts up front.
Yeah.
I think would probably be the player that they'd pick. He's taken for Everton, right?
I think you'd want to take them anyway, wouldn't he?
I'm fairly sure. I'm fairly sure he took them for Everton.
Then again, Brennan Johnson did take him for Forest.
Maybe then. Maybe there's going to be... I just think with Richie's ego, though, he'd definitely...
Yeah, that's what I mean. He'd want to take them for sure.
Yeah. We've had a question on Bournemouth attackers. What are your thoughts on them at the start of this season?
I think Bournemouth are always one of those that people do underestimate, and they do tend to do extremely well, attacking-wise. Of course, defensively, it remains to be seen. But once again, it's a defence, really. Of last season, no one would have thought that Hoyston and Zabani would have ended up at Real Madrid and PSG. So they're a team that I welcome them to surprise me with yet another solid centre-half partnership and a consistent attacking force. I think Kluivert's season kind of got a bit quieter at the end of the season after being one of the must-haves around Christmas time, I believe it was. So, yeah, we'll see how things go. I mean, I'm personally, and I'm sure plenty of other people are, so it's not simply bias, but I do think we are all writing them off quite formidably against Liverpool, but stranger things have happened, and they'll be right up for it. And with Liverpool's defence and Liverpool played the way they are, they're bound to score goals, but I wouldn't bank on Liverpool keeping a clean sheet. So maybe having someone like an Evan Nilsson would be a differential, or Semenyo. I don't know how they're doing in pre-season. I haven't actually kept an eye on Bournemouth at all.
Been getting walloped.
Have they?
Yep.
Well, we'll see. I mean, pre-season's nothing to go by at the end of the day. But you'd like to have that false sense of confidence. Are you cooking dinner?
No, sorry, I opened my water bottle up.
But yeah, no, I don't really have too much more to say about them. But I think, I think if you're going to do well this season, you're going to end up with Bournemouth assets in your team at some point. It may just be a bit too early to call that now.
Yeah, I think obviously they've not lost any of the key attackers, and they were one of the best sides for expected goals created last season. But like you said, with all the chops and changes at the back, is that going to impact the team like as a whole, being able to progress the ball forward? Probably, so maybe just a wait and see for me personally at the moment. But yeah, I think you made a great point there as well. Don't worry about what you do in pre-season. Like, if you win 5-0, nobody really cares. It's more about just seeing the certain formations, the certain players that are getting good minutes will give you a good idea. Everything else is a bit like, don't really matter. You see it every year. Some player absolutely wangles in goals in pre-season, then does absolutely nothing when the season actually comes around. So, yeah, you see it all the time. What have people also said? Faults on Fulkrig. Playing up front with Bowen at the moment, looking like a steady option at 6 mil. What do you reckon of him?
They've got a good start to the season. It's better than a lot of teams that would be a bit cautious of the fact that they may be in a bit of a relegation battle. I don't know if I'm underplaying them a little bit there and whether they are going to be a lot better, but they always seem to be hovering around the wrong end of the league. So I think they have got a good start. I think they'll fancy themselves against Sunderland and Forest. And at home to Chelsea, I mean, first game at home of the season. So you'd like to think that they'll get some points to start the season. I've always thought Fulkrug is a good footballer. I've always thought that whenever I've seen him play in European games, and he's tended to come off the bench, he always seems to have a good impact. But I'm yet to see consistent impact at West Ham now. That I don't know whether that's because he wasn't given the game time or if he is injured or whatnot. But he's another one of those players where I think I'd be a bit reluctant to chuck in at the start.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to go for a West Ham asset, you're going to have to go for Bowen, I think.
Yeah, I think as much as he's having a good pre-season, I do just worry about his injury record, especially last season. And obviously they've signed Callum Wilson as well, who I do think will probably be the backup to those two. But if they're going to continue with the formation that they've played in pre-season, it's Bowen and Fulkrug up top. And you feel like if they're going to drop anybody, it's going to be Fulkrug. It's not going to be Bowen, is it? So,
yeah, definitely.
that would be my only concern with that one as well. Cool. Let's answer one more question before we head on to my team then. Somebody said thoughts on Dewsbury Hall becoming an option at Everton at 5 million. What do you rate of that?
Has he signed for Everton? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another one I'd want to just hold off and just see how they start the season attacking wise. It's a good signing for Everton. I didn't realise that I'd actually finalised.
Yeah, all gone through. Not a bad move, that.
Signing or loan?
Signing, 30 million.
Oh, fair enough. I saw they put a bid in for John McGinn as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Apparently he's going Newcastle. I mean, I doubt that.
He'll go Everton.
Yeah, he's going Everton. Newcastle can't sign anyone at the moment. Right, we'll answer some more questions in a little bit, but let's head on to my team then. Obviously, I posted my draft yesterday. I've made a slight tweak just to get myself in a 6 million forward. So we've obviously changed Williams in for Murillo, and we've taken out Perot and put in Thiago. Those are the only changes I've made to the draft that I showcased yesterday. So we've got Sanchez in goal, Virgil van Dijk, Williams, Tarkowski, Anderson as a back four. Then we've got Salah, Palmer, Bruno Fernandez, and Dye and Anderson in the midfield. And then the sole striker for Gameweek 1 is going to be Ollie Watkins. Then we've got Dubravka, Thiago, Gahey, and Gui on the bench. What are you making of that team, lad? Does that tickle your pickle?
Yeah, it's an interesting defence, I must say. So I imagine you're going for the Defcon points.
Oh, there. It's fully Defcon central there. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. How come Williams over Milenkovic?
I needed the extra 0.5 to go and get Thiago ahead of Perot.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Remains to be seen how Defcon actually impacts it. But from history, if it was involved in the previous years, then you've probably done I imagine you've done your research. So
I've done my homework, mate.
I'll keep quiet until we see how that goes. There's a lot of greens. You've done well to get Palmer, Bruno, and Salah in there. So fair enough. I really like Anderson. I think he's a very good option. I think he's brilliant as well. And Dye, I heard, was potentially going to Inter. Am I wrong?
Yeah. And Dye's the iffy one. I would obviously like Rodgers, but with that injury, I'm a little bit less certain on him. So I think if that was the case, I maybe would be tempted to drop and Dye to like Saw maybe at 6.5 from Crystal Palace, or maybe go down to like a 5 million Xhaka and spread the funds out a little bit. So like go back to Murillo instead of Nico Williams, and maybe up Thiago or up Mark Gui to give me another playing striker.
Yeah, no, I like that.
What are you thinking of Bruno? Quite a controversial figure at the moment within the FPL space. What are your thoughts on
him? Not a terrible start to the season. I think it helps that they're playing Arsenal at home. I think Arsenal's pre-season, if you are going to take anything from it, is pretty underwhelming. And United's hasn't well, it's been probably slightly better.
Hey, lad, they won the Premier League Summer Series.
Exactly, and sorry, I underwhelmingly said that it's been a bloody excellent pre-season for United. They've won a trophy. Well done, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bruno is Mr. Man United at the moment, and he will be for the foreseeable future. So I don't think anyone can complain about him being in, because even when you least expect it, he'll pop up with a goal. If United are going to do anything, it'll be through him. So yeah, game weeks 2 and 3 look good. I remember having him in myself when they played Fulham away. I don't know if it was last season when he scored a last-minute winner. So yeah, I don't think that's a bad signing at all. Arsenal is a really weird game. I don't know how to judge that one. Because if you really are to judge it, you probably would say Arsenal will win it. But yeah, pre-season would suggest otherwise. But even if Arsenal did get something from that game, Bruno is probably the most likely to get something for United, even if it's in vain. So yeah, I'm not going to argue Bruno. He's pricey, but I would say he will come away with some form of attacking return every 2 games at least.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, his Defcon numbers were great last season. I think it was in 55% of the games he played last year, he would have scored 4 or more points. So a ridiculous amount of points. Like those 4 points add up. You know what I mean? And the other main reason I went for him is captaincy in game week 3. Now I've got Palmer against Fulham at home. That's fine. But Bruno Fernandez has got Burnley at home. And I just think if United start the season well and Burnley look really bad at the back, that could be an absolute nice little mega haul that we could get from Bruno there as our captain.
I like it. You know, there is one elephant in the room, though, I will say.
Go on.
Neither of us have a City player.
No, mate, this is the common theme with a lot of drafts at the moment. Nobody has City players. I think Haaland I think there's just better captain options. Like, even the week where he's like the standout option, you're like, well, I've got Salah. So it's like, I think only like, I'm looking at maybe like a free hit in game week 6. And that's purely because Haaland's got Burnley. And I probably would go maybe like triple Burnley for that week. Just to, again, give myself the best captain. But I'm looking round, I'm going, well, Salah's got Palace. Like, if Palace lose Gahey, then they could be exploited. So it's just one of those. That's where kind of my head's at the moment. I don't see rhyme or reason to pick Haaland. And then everybody else is just up for kind of rotation, really, aren't they? So why would you want to?
Yeah, have we got any other drafts of yours, or is this your current one? Because I swear I heard you said you had Saka in your team.
No, right. So the Saka one would be, I would drop Watkins down to a 6.5, and then Dye would become Saka.
Right, okay.
So I think it was like Strand Larson, and then it would be...
That's not bad, that, you know. That might be a better shout.
Yeah, again, that would probably give me the best captaincy option for game week 2 as well, because Saka's got Leeds. So
I don't mind that at all, you know. I don't mind Saka over Watkins.
I guess it's just I just really like the Villa fixtures at the start of the year. And I just think Watkins is just going to be very consistent.
Yeah.
And even if he isn't, I've then got that ability to kind of have a little bit of flexibility with that striker position, because I can come down to some of the 7.5s very easily and pick, like, basically get the best pick I want. Obviously, Gyökeres is at 9 as well. And then I'm only 1.5 million away from Isak, if I wanted to, if he looks really good for Liverpool or Newcastle, obviously. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep it like that and have the structure. I could obviously play my bench boost in game week 1 as well. The options there. Gui against West Ham. Dubravka, not a great fixture. Thiago against Forest. Gahey against Chelsea, not great. Probably game week 2's looking more likely for a bench boost with this team. Obviously, Guehi up against the Bravka, but I mean, if one of them hauls, happy days. Thiago's got Villa at home. I don't really know what to expect of Brentford this season, but if he picks up 2 points, he picks up 2 points. And then Gahey's got Forest, who I think they've scored 1 goal in pre-season so far. So, maybe
have they signed anyone attacking wise? Have they signed someone from Brazil?
Yeah, they got that Thiago who did quite well in the Club World Cup.
Yeah, because it'd be interesting to see how Chris Wood does this season.
Yeah, exactly. Massively overperformed on his data as well last year. So you imagine there's probably going to be a little bit of a drop-off, would be the case. Yeah. What are you making to the 4-5-1 then? A lot of people are looking at this, and I think this will be slowly becoming the new kind of way to play the game. Because obviously,
I think with the Defcon, you've got to consider it, don't you?
Yeah, the Defcon's just going to be consistent points most weeks, where your defenders have okay-ish fixtures, and then you know what I mean. So you're thinking there, like Anderson against United, I could just play him. Like I don't see like United tonking him. Same with like previous years, you probably would have maybe looked for a little bit of rotation. Whereas now you're like, if they can pick up 4 points, happy days.
Yeah.
And I think as well, a lot of the strikers are just no-goes at the moment. Like Isak, we don't know where he's going to be. Gyökeres looked very poor yesterday. And again, new player. Don't really like to go for new players. I like to see them settle in. Then you've got all your 7.5s. João Pedro, the Chelsea fixtures are great. I think he'll be a good option. But again, minutes could be a problem. You've got Mateta with Palace's opening 3 of Chelsea, Forest and Villa. I don't see many goals there. Solanke crocked, dead. Then you come down to your 6.5s. You've got, your 7, you've got Evan Nielsen, but they've got Liverpool away. First game, not great. Strand Larsen's got City away. No, City at home, in the first game. So, again, you can't really play them. And then, you've got like kind of other players. Welbeck doesn't really look like an option. And now you're heading into your Thiagos. Again, bit of an unknown. Pirots, Munizes. Like, the striker position just feels a bit useless to me, really.
Who did our first game?
They have got Brighton away.
Well, Muniz might not be a terrible shout, to be fair.
But again, does he start? They've got.
Have they still got Jimenez?
Yeah, they've got one-eyed Jimenez. That's what I mean. They've got Captain Hook up front, so his minutes are a doubt. So I just look at all the strikers and I just think there's nobody there apart from Watkins that I really, really like as an option.
Yeah, there's a lot of and it depends just how much Haaland decides to absolutely bang him in.
Yeah, I feel the thing is though with this kind of system is nobody's really got Haaland. You know what I mean? Like everyone's gonna have to either wild card or save up a few transfers or maybe some minuses.
And also if you're getting the Defcon across your midfield, Haaland ain't touching the ball unless he scores, so you're not going to fall quite so far away all of a sudden.
Yeah. Like I said, you can go through the weeks every single week. Maybe we'll do that for the next stream we do, but we can literally go through the weeks and you go, would I captain Haaland here? Maybe not. Actually, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. I haven't got a visual representation for people, but what I can do is I'll bring up the fixtures and I'll ask you which player you'd captain in each week.
If you had everyone in your team.
Let's say, you'd want, a selection of everyone. So, game week 1, I think Salah's the standout, right?
Yeah, agreed.
Game week 2, Arsenal have got Leeds. Chelsea have got West Ham. Liverpool have got Newcastle away. And City have got Tottenham at home. Who would you go for there?
Who did you say Arsenal have again?
Leeds.
Yeah, I'd probably be tempted by. Well, depending on the first game week, you'd probably be tempted by Saka there.
Yeah, or if you went Gokeres, you could have Gokeres. I don't even think the Newcastle fixture's bad. If they're a mess at the start of the season, Salah might just be worth hanging on to. West Ham as well. XG conceded last year, dreadful. Palmer's obviously an option.
To be honest, mate, it's going to be hard once again to stop captaining Salah at the start of the season because you don't want to miss out.
Yeah, agreed. Then we head into game week 3. So obviously Liverpool have got Arsenal, not ideal on paper. Chelsea have got Fulham. United have got Burnley. Newcastle have got Leeds, so if Isak stays. And City have got Brighton away.
I think that's when your Bruno comes in clutch there, to be fair, mate.
Yeah. Game week 4, I mean, do I even need to say this one? Salah's got Burnley.
Yeah.
That's the pick there. Game week 5, Aston Villa have got Sunderland, so Watkins. Liverpool have got Everton at home. Forest have got Burnley away. City have got Arsenal. So we've gone through 5 weeks there, and Haaland probably isn't going to be captain for those opening 5 at all.
No, and I think that's the thing. I think that was my argument last year when I had him at the start of the season. I think you have to have Haaland if you're going to captain him.
Yeah.
But when you've got Salah and he's so heavily backed by everyone until we find out just how attacking he's going to be again.
Yeah.
Because you'd imagine he's going to hit the ground running, but if he doesn't, then people will start to look elsewhere. But right now, you've got to just go by the fact that he was scoring for fun.
Yeah. Well, I think the week where he is the standout option is in 6. But if you've got we've all got that extra free hit this year, so you could just free hit in to triple City against Burnley. Done. Yeah. Forest have got Sunderland at home, so you'd triple up on them. Spurs have got Wolves at home, so you probably maybe a double. Liverpool, you could even still have Salah. You've got Palace away. To me, yeah, I just think I don't see over that opening period any week where Haaland is 100% the standout, bar game week 6. I just don't see it. So I don't think there's any point.
That's fair enough. Well, I think it's just one of those really though, where 3 weeks in we might have our tunes changed a little bit. Should he be on? Should he be top scorer by then? But we just got to wait and see with that. Got to just go with what's in front of us, how the game is set out this season, how the points are scored. Mm-hmm. You'll have to actually clarify something. So the Defcon points, is that something that anyone can get, or do you have to be a midfielder?
No, you can be all positions. For defenders, it's 10 Defcon points they need, like 10 Defcon actions they need to hit. And for midfielders, it's 12.
And what about strikers?
And strikers, but 0 strikers hit Defcon last year.
Right. Harry Kane, maybe, if he was still here.
Well, yeah, but like picking up 12 is going to be like, how do you clear the ball as a striker or like get a tackle or... It's quite hard, isn't it?
Whoever Burnley's striker is, maybe.
Yeah, if like maybe like Gashley Barnes was back in the game, maybe, you know what I mean? Backs to the wall kind of footballer. But yeah, that's it. Right. Let's start answering some of your guys' questions. People are asking about the Game Week 6 free hit. Like we just went through there, I think if you are looking to obviously go without Haaland, want to have the best captain every single week, I think, yeah, that could be an option in 6.
Are you trying to avoid then like having Arsenal and Liverpool assets for that Game Week 3? Are you going to try and avoid having to free hit there?
I'm just going to play him. Like, I'm going to play Van Dijk and I'm going to play Salah. I just don't care.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Is that why you've not gone for any Arsenal assets?
Well, the Arsenal assets is an interesting one. Like, I wanted Gabriel at the start, but he was only on the bench yesterday. And I just think there's a lot of unknowns with that Arsenal attack. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, how's Gokeres going to perform? Is Saka maybe going to come off a little bit earlier? Because that's the trend that we've seen so far in pre-season. Is that going to continue into the Premier League?
Yeah.
And if he's not on penalties, he's not worth 10 million. So I want to try and find how Arsenal look over those opening 6 before then I go, yeah, this is going to be the period where I buy into Arsenal.
Yeah, understandable.
Cool. What other questions have we got? Tom, when do you think you're going to play your bench boost? I think if we get good signs that Gui and Thiago are going to be first choices, then I'm probably maybe going to attempt to go 1 or 2 would be where I'd sit with that one.
Thoughts on Gordon?
Bowen picked up 6 points for Defcon last year. He was down as a midfielder though, so and with this system, he's probably going to be playing as a forward, whereas last year he started the season out wide, moved up front.
Seen a few people asking about Gordon, you know.
I'm not going near Newcastle. I'm genuinely not going near Newcastle.
Yeah.
Villa, Liverpool in the opening 2. If they look good in those games, then yeah, you can bring him in for Leeds, Wolves, Bournemouth, but
I think you probably would be tempted to bring him in for Leeds, Wolves, Bournemouth. Actually,
yeah.
I think even if they lose the first 2 games, and you know what? I think the Villa game could be a defeat. I think the Liverpool game is going to be one of the feistiest games of the season already.
Yeah.
And with it being at St James's Park, that is a tough place to go, regardless of what the team looks like.
True.
And then what you've just rattled off there for game weeks 3, 4, and 5. That sounds like a really good potential. So I actually would go out and say that is someone you'd maybe consider it come game week 3.
Yeah, I think, like you said, just it's more a wait and see than rather investing from the start. Because if you're going to free hit in 6 as well, you dodge their Arsenal fixture.
Oh, we need to pause for 20 seconds. Someone's got an ad.
Oh, no. That's it. If you've got an ad. But guys, the ads get us paid, so keep watching the ads.
Yeah, I see about 0.0000001%.
Yeah. If you want to get your team rated, this isn't the stream, unfortunately. We'll be doing one of those next week. But if you want to get your team rated right now, head over to Fantasy Football Hub. There is a link in the description. You can get your team rated for free by their AI tool. This team scored 97%. If you can beat that, fair play. What other questions have we got? Thoughts on Matoma? I've seen a lot of people giving him a lot of hype in pre-season. What do you reckon to Matoma? An option or not an option?
I don't know what Brighton's fixtures are. I haven't actually even considered them, to be honest.
Let me get them up for you. They have Fulham, Everton, City, Bournemouth, Tottenham, Chelsea as their opening 6.
It's not a bad first 2, but then it gets a bit stinky quite quickly, doesn't it? That?
Yeah, I think like City, no. Depends what Bournemouth turn up. Depends what Frank does with Chelsea, for Spurs, sorry, and then Chelsea. Like, it doesn't, there's not like a golden goose in there that I'd be like, that's what
I agree. And with Pedro going and with these Belabor talks as well, it may be worth holding our horses. I've just clocked that there's a bloody EFL game. I need to do my team.
Oh yeah, you can still do your team afterwards though, can't you?
No, I know. I didn't realise it was a Thursday night game. What's that about?
Oh, is this woke nonsense they brought in last year? I hate a Thursday night is honestly woke.
Port Vale Cardiff, there was a fixture I never thought I'd see.
Port Vale Cardiff is a great fixture for a Thursday night. I've got nobody playing in it though, so that is
yeah, neither have I. But my word, when we watched Port Vale beat Crewe, and we said they win the league.
Oh yeah.
And then they've gone up, and now they're playing Cardiff City, who we've seen in the Premier League before. It's mind-boggling. So that is quite a cool game to see. I might have to flick that on tonight, which means I might have to put a bloody Port Vale in there.
Oh, go on then. Did you do your team in the end?
I have actually. I've just checked. I have actually done it.
Oh, sweet. Talk me through your team then, quickly.
We got the Bristol Rovers. Wait, have we? No, we got the Fleetwood. Hold on. I've done that wrong. I'm gonna have to change the goalkeeper. But anyway, I've got Alan for. Wait, hold on a second. Right, okay, my team. You know what? I am gonna have to do my team. This is last week's team, but you know, and it wouldn't update for me on the bloody app. EFL, if you're watching, your app is absolutely awful.
It is pretty bad app.
So now I'm gonna have to do my team because that's last week's team, which I then changed. It only works if I do it on the website, so I will do it on the website after that.
All right, sweet, mate, sweet. Let's rattle through some questions really quickly then. People asking about Daniel Marlon having a great pre-season. Minutes are looking secure. Do you reckon he could be an option at 5.5 for Villa?
Good price, that. Good price, especially when you look at Rodgers being 7 million. If he's having a bright start to the season, he's definitely a more striker build than Rodgers is. So you'd imagine if both of them play the same minutes, that Marlon should be getting more goals. So, yeah, and for 1.5 million cheaper, then it seems like a bit of a no-brainer if you need someone for that price.
Yep. I think people are just putting in the Spurs score as well. Let me have a quick look at that. Oh boy. 4-0'd.
Nice.
Yeah. Good for game week 1, isn't it? Looking good for Spurs for game week 1. People asking about Chris Richards as well. Could be a decent one to have in the side. Obviously, a bit of a Defcon merchant. I think if Gahey stays there, I'm probably going to go for Gahey. I just think his minutes are going to be like solid. Whereas Richards was a little bit in and out of the team. I know second half of the season definitely secured his place, but I think Gahey just is going to be that lock, isn't he, really?
Yeah, you'd imagine so. They really need to keep hold of him, especially with their European challenge as well, because regardless of what happens, has it been finalised or does it?
I think it gets finalised on Monday.
Right. I hope for their sake they get Europa League for the fans, because it really stinks that they'd miss out because of someone's incompetence. But the rules are the rules, I guess. I think whoever ends up in the Conference League has a shout of winning it out of Forest and Palace, though.
Yeah, agreed. Right, before we finish up, let's take a look at some of the most owned players in the game right now. And me and Jake are going to quickly rattle through them and go, do we think they're a must-have, a watch, or an avoid?
All right.
Top of the list, most owned player in the game, Mohamed Salah.
Yeah, must have.
Yeah, must have. Lock. João Pedro is second owned at 54.1%. What do you reckon?
I think he can be a watch, but I think a Chelsea asset of Pedro and Palmer is a must-have. I think you should have one of them. I think arguably Palmer's more of a must-have. Being said, it's just price and it's just what you can afford. So if you don't have Palmer, João Pedro is a must-have for his price. But yeah.
All right, okay. I think you nicely covered those two off. Next up is, man was in your team, Florian Wirtz.
I also think I can understand why he would be a watch. But I think with just how strong Liverpool look and how good their summer window's been, I think he will very quickly be seen as a must-have by the majority. And I mean, with the overall ownership being so high, you'd imagine people are already thinking that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely a watch at the very, very least.
Yeah. Wan-Bissaka next at 4.5.
He's probably a watch, isn't he? He's a cheap price, but I think you've just kind of got to watch West Ham.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where, because he's so high, if West Ham start poorly and people flog him up, like a lot of people flog him off, he could be one of those that just ends up at like 4.3 million.
Yeah.
So maybe one to monitor if you're looking to build team value. Kelleher next in as the 4.5. I think he's probably one of the strongest, so I think that's fine if you're looking for a 4.5.
Yeah, agreed.
Isak up next. I think he's probably in a void right now.
To the start of the season, because I think there's a very good chance he doesn't play for either team.
Yeah, exactly. So an easy avoid. Frimpong, what do you reckon he's fitting into?
I would say he's either a watch or an avoid for the time being. There are some solid defenders that you can have. I imagine you'd have Frimpong purely for the attacking side of things, but with the Defcon points, I think you'd probably rather commit to players you know are going to start the season. I think there's a good chance Connor Bradley starts the season. I know Frimpong will feature. Fortunately, we've got the Community Shield on Sunday, which should have a good indication with the starting 11 as to who starts the season.
Yeah.
So if Frimpong starts, then I would imagine he'll start against Bournemouth. So I think that's just a wait and see. But even so, I'd still be a little bit reluctant to commit to him until we've actually seen how good he is. He looks bright, he looks fast, but we know what Liverpool are like on the counter, and we do push very high up. So unless you're going for those attacking returns, which of course he might need a bit of time, it may be an avoid for now.
Yeah, I think he fits in the avoid category for now. I think if you want to go for a Liverpool defender, go Van Dijk. If Frimpong looks really good, they're the same price.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I'd even be more inclined to have an argument for Kirkes over Frimpong at the start of the season, but we'll wait and see.
Kudus, I think he probably fits in the watch category.
Agreed. Yeah.
Rodgers probably was going to be a lock, but I think he's gone into the watch with the injury.
Yeah, agreed.
8 Nuri, ooh, I think could be a trap. You know.
You reckon?
I think watch him be like one of the most highly owned players and then just benched. Like it just would be proper pep.
It is at Wolves like.
Gabriel, where do you reckon he fits in?
I think there's an argument for him to be a must-have, but I think you can also watch him.
I think watch maybe just because of the preseason minutes so far.
Yeah, all right.
Konza?
I don't know about Villa, to be honest. I don't know defensively. I think he's a very good value for money.
Yeah, I think he's decent at 4.5. Like you know, he's probably going to be playing for Villa. You know, their fixtures are good at the start of the year, so I don't mind Konza as a pick at 4.5.
Yeah, fair enough.
Gokares, I think's a watch.
Yeah,
I don't think he's a lock. Verge, I think could be very easily a lock if you're looking to go for that Liverpool defence early doors.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Cucurella at 6.
That's not a bad. No, I think he's a watch, but he's not a bad player to have in your team for sure.
I think at 6 though, is he really worth 6? Yeah. I think if he came in at 5.5, I think we'd have seen him in a lot more people's teams.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think 6 is just probably a little bit too much, so I probably would be maybe watch with like more towards the avoid. Haaland, I think we both know where we're at with that one. Probably an avoid.
Yeah, just keep definitely watch though. You can't avoid. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't help but watch Haaland just in case.
Yeah. Then we've got Bowen.
See, I would watch him because I actually don't mind. I've not been fazed by his move to striker because I do think if West Ham are going to do anything, it's going to be him.
Oh yeah, he is the talisman, isn't he?
His price tag's a lot, but he just scores against anyone. There is no team that can stop him from scoring.
True.
Except for his own.
Raya coming in at 5.5, an option for you or not?
I think the talk is just to get the cheapest goalkeeper you know you're going to get minutes with, really, isn't it? And when you've got Raya, you're using up one of the Arsenal assets. I think you're better off doubling up in defence with Arsenal and having a Saka or even keeping an eye out for Gokares or whoever. I would save your Arsenal asset options until we see how the season goes.
Yeah, I think you'd rather have, like you said, either double defence, or if both Saka and Gokares start the season really well, and Gabriel's absolutely just pinging in goals from set pieces again, those would be the 3 you'd want. And you might be like, oh well, I'm stuck with Raya. So yeah, I think he's probably an avoid. And then the last one's going to be Aina, who I don't think has been playing at all in pre-season. I think he's been dealing with an injury. So again, quite an easy avoid for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Cool. There was the avoids, the buys and the must-haves, or whatever I said. A combination.
I think you said.
Yeah, exactly. We can do that one off camera. Right, we're gonna whittle through questions for the next 5 minutes before we finish up. So get as many as you can in, and me and Jake are gonna try and whittle through as many as possible, giving you our answers. Jamie says he has Raya. Oh dear, Jamie. Oh dear. I mean, he did get a top 10k finish. He finished above me last year, so maybe Jamie's onto something.
Oh, nice. Are we all going to go gate crash's stream afterwards? Get real advice.
Someone said, if I free hit in game week 2, will I get 2 free transfers? You will not. You'll just have the 1. Thoughts on Fulkrug? We kind of spoke earlier on him. We don't mind him if the minutes are looking good. People asking about Foden. I think we kind of touched on it earlier about City attackers. Probably in a void for now. Just too much rotation. I think there's so many better players at that price point that minutes-wise are going to be secured. I think at the start of the season, focus on minutes. Focus on those players that are just going to play games of football. And realistically, if a player's on the pitch, there's more minutes, there's more chance he's going to score. Just look at it as a very simple, easy equation in your head. Etike at 8.5 million. Yeah. What do you think of him, Jake, as an option at 8.5?
You know what? I don't know if you've noticed this, but I feel like the 8.5 striker cost has always been a bit of a bogey price tag.
Who else has been there?
Well, we had Havertz, we've had Newman.
Yeah.
Who else? I can't think off the top of my head now, but those two came to my mind first. They just because it's not quite good enough to be like an Isak or something, or a Haaland, but then he's not one of those that you're just putting in because you're spending 6.57 million, where you can rotate them. If you're paying 8.5 million, you're going to want them in every game week, surely. And I think that's the issue. That's the issue you're playing with.
Yeah, I agree. If I went triple Spurs, bench boost game week 1 or bench boost game week 2, probably bench boost 1, given the fact that they've got Burnley, but maybe just go on Twitter and head over to Spurs' Twitter for today's result. Might make you change your mind on that one. Your top 4.5 million defenders. I'll do mine as well.
Oh, can you do yours first?
Yeah. Mine are Gahey if he stays. I think it's an absolute lock. Anderson as well from Fulham was a bit of a Defcon beast. Who do I want to go for my next one? I probably would maybe go for Richards as well if his minutes are good for Palace. 4.5 again, another one. Palace are a pretty decent defence. You always know that they're going to be around the top 10 kind of defences within the league. They can put up clean sheet numbers. They're pretty good for Defcon as well. So yeah, they're my three. What about you, mate?
I didn't actually. What three did you say? Just quickly.
Richards, Gahey, Anderson.
Okay, sound. I'd agree with Gahey, but I think unfortunately the fixtures just don't agree with him at the start of the season, do they?
No.
But does that benefit him though? Because the games they should be up against it a bit.
Maybe. I want to see how it works this season.
I've got Wan-Bissaka. I think he's a good one, although he is one that you can also keep an eye on because of West Ham's. You just don't know how they're going to start the season. And then I'd also have an honourable mention for Esteve. Very much based on how Burnley start the season, they're going to be up against it. There's no doubt about that. But on top of that, their performance in the Championship last season has to be something to go by, and that was a really, really impressive defensive record that they kept. So, yeah, I think he's definitely someone to keep an eye on.
Sweet. Sorry, I was reading Twitter DMs there. Wasn't really paying attention.
No worries.
Abby has said Bruno, Xhaka and Strand Larson or Ndai, Adingra and Bowen with 0.5 in the bank. Ooh.
I'd probably go for the first one, especially because you can bank on all three of them playing, I'd imagine. And I don't know where he's going to be at the start of the season. Adingra, I'm not sure how his pre-season's been. So yeah, I think I'd go for the one with Bruno in.
Okay. If Rodgers is out, is Villa attack a must? I still think Watkins is good value for what he is.
Yeah.
But do you like Collins at 5 million? Good for Defcon last season, and Brighton might be a little bit more defensive this year. What do you reckon?
I think that's a watch, to be honest, just to see how leaky they are.
True. Yeah, they might be very.
Already got Kelleher in goal.
Yeah, the PE teacher manager might be a little bit shit. Thoughts on Tielemans? Could be pretty good for Defcon and potential of penalties at 6 million.
Ever so slightly pricey, maybe at 6 mil for Tielemans, I'd say.
Maybe, yeah. I think if he came in at 5.5, probably would see him in a lot more people's teams, I reckon.
How much is Declan Rice?
6.5. It's just a bit too much, isn't it?
A little bit too much, yeah.
Well, here's a fun fact for you. You know the season Rodri was absolutely ridiculous for City?
Yeah.
If you added Defcon points in, he would have returned 4 or more points in 88% of his games.
Blimey. How much was he worth? About 6.5?
I think he was like 5.5 that season.
Bloody hell.
But this is what I mean. Like, I think people are maybe underestimating Defcon. Like, if you get someone that just does that, they're going to just be scoring every other week, aren't they? Like, decent, steady points.
So why is Caicedo not on your team?
Because he doesn't score as much, does he? He's not.
As in score goals?
Yeah, like Elliot Anderson is on on corners, sorry. So there's the chance he picks up some scummy assists.
Right, okay, I'm with you.
You know what I mean? But like Caicedo, what other than tackle, what does he do?
So you tempted by Xhaka?
A little bit. I just think it's just Sunderland, innit? Like, they could just be getting pummeled every week.
Yeah, true.
Like, they were the worst defence to have come up out of the Championship, out of all the 3 promoted sides.
Where's Calvin Phillips these days?
I think he's still on the books at City. That man is just waiting for a Saudi League move.
Blimey.
So yeah.
Surprised Leeds haven't gone in for him.
Yeah, true. I think their midfield's better probably without him now. I think he showed that last year at Ipswich. I just don't think he's Premier League quality, is he, anymore?
No. One season wonder, it seems.
It does seem indeed. Right, we're going to leave it there then, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for everybody coming out for this pretty impromptu stream, but pretty insightful one. Me and Jake will probably put in some time next week before the deadline on Friday.
I'll say now, it's Thursday or I can't do it, so it's up to you.
Wow, Thursday or he can't do it, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. Yeah, I reckon we'll probably get something in for Thursday.
Sound. I've got probably get my arse handed to me next week with work on Wednesday, so suicide watch after that. I don't know if you can joke about those things actually on YouTube, so apologies.
Oh well, it's done now, mate. Right, we're gonna leave it there. Thank you very much for everybody coming out, and we'll see you in the next one.